Are the Miami Dolphins already watching their money and saving money and spending wisely due to Tua's pending contract extension? We'll talk about that today. Also, is pressure mounting on the Miami Dolphins to get a deal done with Jaelan Phillips? Plus, they bring in one of the top tier tackle prospects of the 2024 draft. Plus, I will have my top 15 safety big board for the 2024 draft, including evaluations on all 22, so you won't want to miss it. It's our 5th big board out of the 6 we're doing. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot to talk about. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jaylen Waddle. The Dolphin touchdown. And he will score. Deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown.
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown.
He's going deep. He's got it over the touchdown. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Appreciate all of you for coming through today on this Monday episode. We got a lot to cover, from the draft to Tua, a little Jaelan Phillips update. Man, we got a lot to talk about today, that is. But I want to start things off by saying this. So, as you know, I was live on Saturday. If you didn't have a chance, go back and watch that video once we're done here. And then I was pretty much out of commission for the rest of the day. After I did that show, I had to go to Buffalo, etc., etc. So I just say all that to say this, because we've talked about it a few times on this channel already. That boy Drizzy absolutely cooked Kendrick, Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross. Cooked them. And Rick Ross, his response was utterly weak, talking for half the track, making obesity jokes about, making fat jokes about Drake when Drake's, do we even have to compare body types between those two? Drake cooked, man. Drake absolutely cooked, and I'm waiting on that Kendrick response. I am waiting on that Kendrick response. Man, the double entendre that Drake did on Kendrick's wife, my God. Whoo-wee! I'm telling you, Kendrick going to be in his bag on this one. I'm telling you, you didn't learn from Pusha, Aubrey. Absolutely. The 50-50 splits, just cooking them. Man, how you big stepping with size 7 shoes on? Oh, cold, baby. Cold. Woo. Oh, my God. And, no matter what Rick Ross says, he already got cooked. You got cooked when Drake mentioned, when Drake mentioned you in that track, you were already cooked, bro. You were already cooked when Drake mentioned you. And you can talk about plastic surgery all you want, but tell me where he's wrong when he said every song that made it on the chart, he got it from Drizzy. Real talk. Every big hit Ross has had is because of Drake. Man. Kenneth says, King Truth back in the house. 3 facts. 2 is getting a deal. 2's deal will be a discount in 2 years. We are only drafting premier positions. Keep feeding the smart folks. You to Reason. Appreciate you. Bro, that's it, eh? Bro, see, that's the thing, James. Rick Ross out here talking about Drake sending a cease and desist so he could stop a verse from being released on a French Montana track, trying to make him look out to be a Fed when this man was a correctional officer, bro. When this man was a correctional officer. My God. Oh, Drake's going to eat that man for that. Hoo-wee. Kendrick is the only chance. Drake won. The 20 people hating on him, 0. And Kendrick is the only chance they got. Kendrick is the only chance they have. I can't wait till Kendrick drops. I can't wait to Kendrick. Because, I'm telling you, that was takeover. That was takeover level where Jay-Z gave it to Nas, gave it to Prodigy of Mobb Deep, and even hit Jaz-O with half a bar. Nas needed to respond with Ether or it was a rap. Kendrick needs to respond with, Ether level. You need Ether level. I'm sorry. You need Ether level, Kendrick. That's just what it is. I don't know what else to say, man. And he cooked the Weeknd, because I know the Weeknd and his crew. When I was in the music industry, they were coming up too. And when he's talking about Claim the 6 and your boys don't even come from it because they're not from the 6. They're not from the 6. They're from just outside of Hamilton. They're not from Toronto. He even cooked them. Oh, my God. Oh, man, when he told Kendrick, Pipsqueak pipe down, you ain't in no big 3, SZA got you wiped down. Oh, my God. Oh, the way you doing splits, bitch, your pants might rip. Oh, my God. Hitting him with the 50-50. Holy jeez. Whoo. Look at, he cooked Future in the beginning. I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1, I had to put it in your hand. Oh, my God. And then he being real, man. Pussies can't get booked outside of America for none. I'm out in Tokyo because I'm big in Japan. Real talk. Oh, my God, he cooked. Whoo, he cooked. Holy. Man. Oh, what's a prince to a king? Oh, he a son? Oh, Metro, shut your whole ass and made some drums. Oh, my God, Drake. Whoo. Oh, hip-hop is so back, baby. Hip-hop is so back. And I love every single minute of it. Oh, my God. Kendrick, it's on you. It's on you. Man, even the Chip and Dale line went over people how he came at Future. Huh? When he said Drizzy Chip and Dale probably got your bitch Chanel. Ooh, what is he talking about? He's talking about Future and the whole Pluto thing, right? Chip and Dale always got the best of Pluto. Oh, my God. I just got him done, boy. Don't make me have to chip and nail. Oh. Woo. Oh, my God. And he even warns at the end, yo. What's crazy is he even warns y'all at the end. He even says he got more. He even says that ain't even everything I know. Don't wake the demon up. Oh, my God. Oh, Kendrick. I need a response, Kendrick. I need a response, Kendrick. Oh, I need a response, Kendrick. I'm telling you, you already done had 72 hours and you're already 48 deep on it, Kendrick. An AI track came out this morning, and I'm going to be honest with you. I was hoping a little bit of that was real because whoever wrote that absolutely cooked J. Cole in the first little bit. Woo! But, Kendrick you better drop that ether, man. Y'all had a takeover level drop. I'm not going to call drop and give me 50 push-ups. I ain't going to call that ether. That's takeover level. I'm going to call that takeover level. No one's hit ether level yet. And Drake, everyone knows I love Drake, but I love me some Pusha T too. He better hope Pusha T don't circle back around. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I love it. Oh, my God. Oh, Ross. Oh, man. That Ross diss was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Half of that thing is just generic bars. Literally. The whole time he's spitting, it's pretty generic. And then he starts dropping the actual jabs when he's just talking. Come on, bro. What is that? Yo, you got to put these in bars. We ain't trying to listen, to you talk. This ain't a sermon, bro. You got to put those in bars, bro. We ain't trying to listen to you just sitting here and talk for a minute. So that's where I'm at with that. Rick Ross that diss was weak, man. He's just trying to insert himself. Already got cooked, man. Literally everyone. And DJ Khaled, the biggest loser of this all. DJ Khaled's the biggest loser of this all. That's because he ain't going to have these boys on his next joint. That's what's going down. Whew. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you. Listen, you can listen to that. It was a 3-hour turnaround, and you can listen to it and tell he literally took generic bars for the first minute. He literally just took stuff he had already written and threw it in there. All of his jabs at Drake came when he was talking. He wasn't even rhyming. And I'm telling you this. He done been waiting on Drake. It's ain't about the French Montana. He done been waiting for Drake since Drake put Meek Mill's career in a hole with Charged Up and back-to-back. And guess what, Rick? You better watch how you move because Drake about to put you in the same hole. The only chance they have is Kendrick. I'm telling you, the only chance they have is Kendrick. Crazy, man. Anyways, that was absolutely fire, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this: anyone who thinks that Ross diss, I'm gonna say it straight up. Anyone who says the Ross diss is better than dropping beat to give me 50, you don't know hip hop, man. You don't know the history of hip hop. You don't know hip hop, man. You just being biased. You either have it out for Drake or you're a hometown boy for Rick Ross. Anyone who knows hip hop, nah, bro. They're out here saying Drake got the dub right now as it's hanging. I'm gonna put that out there, man. All right, you don't know hip hop if you say that, but it's all about Kendrick's the one. Kendrick's the one that can finish Drake. It's all gonna be about what Kendrick drops, man. He's the one that's got the ether ability. We're gonna see, cause Drake, you said a few things that he can get you back on, bro. Talking about 50-50 splits, and yeah, you ripped him over that whole Top Dog stuff. You got him good. But, man, this man's going to come at you for the Rap-A-Lot stuff. He's going to come at you for the Cash Money and the Birdman deal. He coming at you. He coming on you. Man, Ross had better bars for 50 than what he dropped against Drake. Real talk. I've heard better bars from Ross in battles when he was going at 50. He was more locked in on 50. Anyways, man, hip-hop's back, baby. Hip-hop is back. I love it. Whoo-wee. We back. See, that's what it's about, right? Like, he's more trolling right now, right? It's not, it's more about, bro, I'm waiting. Listen. Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City are two of my favorite albums of the last 25 years. Two of my favorite albums of the last 25 years. If he goes to that place, if he goes back to Overly Dedicated, Section 80, or Good Kid, Mad City, K-Dot, Drake gonna have his hands full, man. Shout out to James for the $9.99 donation. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone donating because, here's the deal. We're gonna be doing a big board, and you already know what happens with that. Your boy's gonna get demonetized. So, man. Well, technically, Drake helped all these guys break through mainstream, but don't forget, he helped K-Dot. Don't sleep on it. He helped K-Dot. All right? Don't sleep on it. He helped K-Dot. All right? Like, that's real talk. People seem to forget their history even with that. Y'all remember on Take Care in 2011. Remember on Take Care on the ending of on the Buried Alive interlude. He gave Kendrick a whole interlude on a mainstream album. And Kendrick was not mainstream yet. Remember, he helped them. He gave him that interlude on, which is fire. Kendrick murdered it. But that whole Buried Alive interlude, he gave him an interlude. He helped put Kendrick on. Just do the research, man. If y'all don't remember, do the research. And all of Ross's biggest hits are with Drake. Future, all of his big hits to start off were with Drake, right? I'm just saying. That's why he said when y'all have a poster of me on the wall when y'all cooking up. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm a hip hop head, man. Been since the man, I've been a hip hop head since, man, I remember starting out listening to, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff. And then I remember finding, my sister's, I'm a huge DJ Premier and I'm a huge Guru fan. A huge. And I remember it's because of, my sister and finding the Gangstar albums. And then from Gangstar, I went into like Nas and everything like that. So, man, I've been and then I was in the hip hop industry from 2008 to about 2018. So, man, in 2010, I was having my birthday in the same club and literally in the next booth over from Boy Wonder when they were just starting to pop. So, I knew Weekend before he was coming up. I knew when he was out of Hamilton and he was just a dude named Aubrey. Like I knew him when he dropped Balloons and Thursday and those mixtapes that put him on the map. So, I've been around these dudes and crazy. Anyways, all the way from Canada working down to Nipsey. Before Nipsey passed, we worked with Nipsey Hussle for a little bit. I had a guy who produced a bunch of songs for him and stuff. So I've been around the block with this hip-hop stuff, man. I love it. As much as I love football, I'm passionate about this. So anyways, let's keep it going. Man, got to open up on hip-hop, huh? Sorry, first 15 minutes of the show. But it is what it is, man. So let's start getting into things because we do have a little bit to talk about. And one of the first things I want to talk about is, I see everyone, the new jerseys are being unveiled. The Jaguars announced they're going to unveil new jerseys. The Jets announced they unveiled new jerseys. Ladies and gentlemen, this has already been addressed. Garfinkel has basically come out and said Stephen Ross has no interest, none whatsoever, has no interest in changing from the original logo the logo we're using now to the original logo and trying to make throwbacks permanent. Ross, Garfinkel has already come out and basically deaded that. So I know everyone's in their feelings. And listen, I would love throwbacks permanent with a retro 90s, or early 2000s as our third jersey, but it's not going to happen. I'm in the minority. I don't want to see the Vice City color scheme. I don't want to see a Vice City get up. I want to see, to be honest with you, I liked it. I still like it, even though you could say they look like creamsicles. I don't care. But I like the all orange joints. I thought those were fire. One of my favorite jerseys is the Landry all orange, the color rush. I thought those were fire. Honestly, you know what I'd be interested in? See the blue? You see how the blue under the aqua? I would be interested if they gave the whole Navy look another shot. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I'd be interested in seeing, another throwback to those 2000s all blue getup we wore on Monday night. I'd be down for it. See, here's the thing. I feel like you got to go orange pants. I feel like you can't go white pants. Same thing as we do aqua and aqua. Even, white on white looks better. But I feel like you got to do orange on orange. I don't feel like you can do orange on white. That's just my opinion. I mean, you know what I mean? Take it for what it's worth. Everything's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, man, there are some. And I got to say this too, and we'll go over it. Did y'all see how Pause absolutely bricked up Devon Achane looked today? Man, I've said it to the Patreon, to the channel members when we were talking about people wanting Derrick Henry. What did I say? Even if you go get Derrick Henry, Devon Achane needs to be the number one option in Miami. That's what I've said. And I stick with it. Achane needs to be the number one guy. You need to put everything on his shoulders and see what you get. See if he can carry the weight of this team and the running game. Start to phase Mostert out. I'm not saying don't use Mostert. I'm saying use him in more of a rotation and start phasing him out for Achane. That's what I'm saying. Achane needs to be the number one guy. That's it. And I'm ready for it, man. Give me my dude as number one in the Miami backfield. I'm ready for it. All right, let's get into everything. We got a lot to cover. All right, we got a ton to go over here. So let's start hopping into it. And let's start off with Tua Tagovailoa, and we got a couple updates on him. All right? So this came out and no one's talked about it. I don't know why. Everyone's talking about one part of the quote, but no one's talked about this. Jeremy Fowler on the weekend now the video has not come out of his appearance, but he was on SportsCenter, and we got two articles on it talking about two different things. Essentially the same thing, but two different aspects of it. So Jeremy Fowler says Dolphins saving money to get Tua Tagovailoa paid after strong season. The Miami Dolphins are planning on making Tua Tagovailoa a very rich man, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. On Saturday, the NFL analyst joined ESPN's flagship SportsCenter show for an appearance. He touched on numerous potential deals for NFL quarterbacks, and Tagovailoa's name came up. Evidently, the Dolphins are putting some money away already to be able to pony up for their signal caller's new deal. And I quote, Tua Tagovailoa, this one's interesting because he could be a path of least resistance as far as getting a deal done because he showed he was healthy, played a full 17, 11 wins, 4,600 passing yards, so he showed improvement. The Dolphins know that, and they've been fiscally responsible this offseason, saving money to give him some coin. It just depends on how far they're willing to go. Are they willing to pay him $50 million? That's the question. So here's where we're at right now. You know, you got also Tua Tagovailoa, right? Not talking about his workouts, you know, saying in terms of contract negotiations, they've been good right now. I'm letting my agent handle this. But there you go right now. People have wondered why we didn't make a splash. It's not only because this team doesn't have a ton of financial flexibility as is. They are being very money aware and money conscious moving into the future. That's where they're at. That's why they're not getting hampered down to long contracts. Most of them are 1 year and 2 year deals. That explains it right there. It's right there for you. Right? Because next year, you know, his contract kicks in. This is the 5th-year option, and then next year the contract will kick in. But this is further proof that this is getting done. If you have Jeremy Fowler out here reporting on ESPN that the Miami Dolphins right now are so intent on getting a deal done with Tua Tagovailoa, it's already affecting how they spend, and they haven't even signed him to the deal, that tells you all you need to know for these people that doubt if a contract is going to be done. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, no longer if. And it's closer than people think. I mean, we already had him alluding to an extension being on the horizon. If you listen to his wording at the luau when he was talking about how he plans on raising his family here, now you have ESPN reporting, well, the Miami Dolphins, you know, they're working under the guise of saving money to put it towards the extension. If that doesn't tell you how dedicated they are to having Tua Tagovailoa for the future and extending him, then I don't know what will. I really don't. Now, what level will it get to? Here is more of that quote. This might be the path of least resistance to get something done because the Dolphins have long considered him a long-term option. So there you go, even further. They consider him a long-term option. There you go, ESPN reporting that. But they wanted to see him get healthy while he played the full 17 games, etc., etc. So he's in a good spot. This is a deal that will certainly be at a high caliber of money, but it might not be in that $55 million range of the Joe Burrows and the Justin Herberts. So maybe that makes it easier to do. The Dolphins have scaled back their spending big time this offseason, in part because they want to pay this guy. It just depends on if they can find a sweet spot on money. So there you go. Again, confirmation that they've scaled back their spending because they want to pay him, but also a little bit more of a nugget there that it will not be, it's not looking like it's going to be in the $55 million range. This is why I go back to the Dak extension. They were going to use that Dak extension to push him into that range. That was the play. And now that the Dak extension has fallen on its face, think about this. Just put it in perspective like this. Coming out of the combine, what were all the NFL and ESPN mouthpieces saying? Oh, this might drag into training camp. Right? Now, you have them saying, well, they are being frugal because they want to pay Tua. They're even discussing numbers and the range it's in, right? It's saying it's not going to be in the Herbert or Burrow range. They're even going as far as saying they've considered him a long-term option. I'm just saying. Now, when you talk about the money, what Burrow had, if you remember correctly, 5-year, $275 million, right? 219 of that guaranteed. Annual average salary of about $55 million. Herbert, $262.5 million over 5 years. $218.738 million guaranteed. So literally there's like a $300,000 difference in guaranteed money between Herbert and Burrow. So now obviously, and Burrow has a higher ceiling to his contract of about $13 million, right? Because it's $275 to $262. So I think what we're looking at is him coming in at the $250 range. And I think we're looking at, in terms of guaranteed money, I think you're probably more in the 190 to 200 range. So I could see it being, $10 to $20 million less in guaranteed money than Herbert and Burrow. So, and the problem you're battling too as a negotiator in terms of Shore and Greer is everyone expects the cap to go up at least $90 million over the next 3 years. So they're sitting there back saying, okay, this is good right now, but we'll see. Listen, I want to get this locked up and over and done with because we got other fish we got to fry here. Really, to be honest with you. So that's where I'm at with that. And in terms of other fish to fry, what I'm talking about with that is Jaylen Waddle. An interesting little nugget here in Barry Jackson's article. This article came out today. He said the Dolphins are expected to try and sign wide receiver Jaylen Waddle to a contract extension. And the potential price of that extension came into more focus Monday when Devontae Smith was handed a 3-year, $75 million extension that includes $51 million guaranteed from the Eagles. Now, you look at he highlights here. Look at the numbers. Touchdowns, almost similar. Per reception, almost similar. Yardage, almost similar. Now, Miami will exercise the fifth-year option on both Jaelan Phillips and Waddle by May 2nd. That means Waddle would make $15.6 million in 2025. Phillips would make 13.3 in 2025. Also, Javon Holland entering and the Dolphins are expected to try and keep him on a long-term deal as well. This is all stuff I've already told you. I have told you that they want to get as many out of these three extended this offseason. I've told you that. So all Barry Jackson is doing is confirming what I've been telling you guys that I've been hearing for months. That the fifth-year options on Holland and Waddle will get exercised, and they want to extend as many out of those three between Waddle, Holland, and Phillips. Phillips and Waddle's fifth-year options will get extended. Holland is going to be someone they're going to try and press and get a deal done with because he has no fifth-year option. But they're going to try and get as many of them done. They're just trying to get... That's the thing. Tua is kind of... This whole thing with Tua, I know they want to get that done first. Now, that's not to say they will get it done first, but I know the preference is to get Tua's deal done so they have an outlook on the money of the future and they know how they can allocate. Now, if Waddle or Phillips or Holland... and their agency come to you with a deal you just can't refuse, you got to lock them up. But I know Holland is with athletes first, so I ain't expecting them to be very team-friendly. Now, listen, we know he's in the $25 million range now. Now we know that. He's scheduled to make 8.6 this year. Waddle will make 15.6. I told all y'all, I didn't even put Devontae Smith into the equation when I warned everyone. I warned everyone about Jamar Chase. I warned everyone about Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. If Devontae Smith is making $25 million, what do you think those guys are going to be asking for? Now, if you want to look at this, because Devontae Smith's fifth year has been exercised, really it's a 4-year deal of about $90.6 million. If you add in the money he's making this year on the fifth-year option, the money he's going to be making on the fifth-year option with the $25 million per season following the fifth-year option. And remember, Devontae Smith, his money is basically identical to A.J. Brown. So they're paying basically two guys like two number ones. Just saying. Timothy Washington gifted one Phinside The NFL membership, and TB got the membership. Shout out to y'all. So you better get this done because if Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jefferson drive it up even further, we could be dealing with a $27.5 million guy. $28 million guy. Shout out to Timothy, another membership. Alex Moreno was the benefactor of that. So you better be smart and you better be on point. And listen, I know you want to get Holland done because, there's no fifth-year option. But my Lord, Phillips' injury gives you a little bit of time. And his lack of being able to stay healthy. But Waddle, you got to get that done. Especially if this season, we head back to 2022 offense, where it's a 1A and 1B trajectory for Waddle and Tyreek. Not a clear divide between 1 and 2 like there was last year. Because that's just going to drive his price up. And you think Jaylen Waddle doesn't know that Tyreek Hill, in a couple of years, the torch is going to be passed to Jaylen Waddle? You think he doesn't know that? Just saying. You're going to have to pay this man. And you better get it done. The sooner you get it done, the better it's going to be. Just saying. Continuing on, we got some updates for all of y'all, some draft updates before we get into my big board. The Dolphins, who are considering taking an offensive lineman with the 21st overall draft pick on April 25th, are flying in one of the draft's best pass protectors, Oklahoma's Tyler Guyton, to team headquarters, according to a league source. Guyton will count among the Dolphins' 30 permitted pre-draft visits, the source said. I mean, this is closer to a first-round pick than, he's more of a... I don't know, man. He might be more of a lock to go in the first than JPJ is. Guyton, he played 350 and 661 snaps at right tackle the past 2 seasons. Also has 80 snaps at left tackle in his career, including 1 last season. He allowed no sacks and 9 quarterback hurries and 355 pass blocking snaps, and yielded just 1 sack over 511 career pass blocking snaps. Now you go into them. Now I don't need to read what they say because I've done my own thing. Speaking of Guyton, an AFC National Scout told NFL.com there's a lot to work with there. I think he has a chance to get hot, go way earlier than people might expect. If the Dolphins drafted Guyton, he could be an eventual successor for Teron Armstead, who has no guaranteed money left after 2024. Last season, the Dolphins signed right tackle Austin Jackson to a 3-year, $36 million extension for 2026. Dolphins have several options with the 21st overall pick. An edge player, a defensive tackle, a wide receiver, or an offensive lineman appear the most likely based on need. Notice how edge is number 1. So Guyton. Now you can go back and you can watch my offensive tackle big board on Guyton, right? If you remember, he was my 7th overall tackle, 6'7.5", 322 pounds, very smooth mover. Looks like he almost glides into his kick set. He moves so well. He can mirror defenders well, reaches the second level well, can move laterally very fluidly. If you look at the film between TCU and Oklahoma, he shows a ton of promise and a ton of upside in pass pro, right? Big time core strength pops. Strong hands, finishes defenders if he can latch on, consistently places them pretty well, has good length to his arms, which help him extend and lock out. Plus, he's pretty high football IQ guy. He's aware when it comes to stunts, twists, loopers, etc. So, the problem with him is pad level, right? Which he needs more reps. He's only had 1,095 reps over 4 years. So he's still raw in the technique department, right? You can see him sometimes like what you saw with Eichenberg when you watch this film. He can whiff badly with his initial punch or get caught lunging, etc. But I like him. I do think he's got the movement ability and the IQ to switch from right to left, kind of like J.C. Latham does. So, I think 21's a little rich. I'd be more comfortable with trading back and trying to get him at the end of the first or at the top of the second. That's where I'd be comfortable taking him. But because of his movement skills, because of the traits, even though he's raw a little bit in terms of the technique department, that's why I could see him getting drafted in the 20s. If you look at it, edge players, edges and offensive tackles, they used to get drafted in the top 15 if they were raw, if the traits were through the ceiling. Now teams over the last 5-10 years have kind of learned from that, and you see it get pushed down, but we're not talking get pushed down to the second. We're talking more get pushed down from the 15 to 32 spot, right? So I'm a fan of Guyton, but, if Jazan Newton's on the board, I'm taking Newton, right? If Troy Fautanu's on the board, I'm taking Troy Fautanu, all right? If Leatu Latu is on the board, I'm taking Latu. If Verse is on the board, I would take Verse. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't really rah for a defensive back in the first round, but there is one defensive back I would take in the first round. If Cooper DeJean was on the board, I would take him. Because when you talk about as a fit in the star role, he's ideal. So, anyways, now an update on Jaelan Phillips for all of you. Jaelan Phillips It says Dolphins linebacker Jaelan Phillips, who sustained a torn Achilles in the Dolphins' victory over the Jets on Thanksgiving weekend, offered encouraging news over the weekend, appearing on an ESPN sideline interview during UM's spring football game. Phillips said, "Rehab has been going great. I'm just attacking it every day, and I'll definitely be back healthy for the season, and God willing, stay healthy for the season." ESPN did not clarify whether he meant he would be ready for the season opener. Bradley Chubb, and he warns you what I've been telling all y'all. I'm hearing he's not going to be ready for the season. And look at Bradley Chubb right here. Bradley Chubb, the Dolphins' other starting edge rusher, is recovering from a December 31st torn ACL and might not be ready for the start of the season. Cam Good also recovering from a serious knee injury. The Dolphins at the moment have only one fully healthy edge player, Shaq Barrett, who is signed away from Tampa. So, I mean, I've been stressing to y'all that how edge is in need. I don't get how people aren't seeing it. Right there puts it into further perspective, right? All right, you only got one healthy guy right now. That's where we're at. So, continuing on, too. I don't know if you guys saw it, but ladies and gentlemen, the boys are back in town as the Offseason Voluntary Program started today, and the guys showed up. Jonnu Smith decided to show up looking fresh in a Cybertruck. Atta boy. Jonnu Smith, look at this man.
Truck, baby, first day vibes,
Flashing that new money. Atta boy.
Let's get it.
Atta boy, Jonnu.
Morning.
QB1 popping up.
Yep. Man, like we never left. Huh?
Let's go. Not holding out nothing. Not holding out nothing. And I want you to watch this clip that's coming up. Bradley Chubb, Jaelan Phillips, they're walking in with no crutches or nothing. So let's see, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go.
Good morning. Hello.
Hey guys. Day one, good morning. First day one, baby, let's go.
Let's go.
First day back at work. It'll bless.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
There's Chubb. Look at, there you go.
7 flies by.
Salt, no pepper. Shout out to Brittany for that. Shout out. Devin Achane bricked up. Let's go. Devin Achane bricked up a little too. Man. Listen, now a lot of you guys are going to be wondering, okay, so what are they showing up for? So, per the NFL and NFL Player Association's collective bargaining agreement, this is phase 1, which encompasses the first 2 weeks of the offseason program. It consists of meetings, strength and conditioning, and physical rehabilitation only. Not until after next week's NFL draft will the Dolphins be allowed to begin on-field workouts, although those can only be performed at a walkthrough pace and cannot include live contact or offensive players lining up against defensive players. And then, remember, the OTAs, which will be the first time the team can do 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-11, that'll all begin May 20th to 31st, and then June 4th, 5th, and 6th is a mandatory mini camp. So we got a lot on deck, baby. Love it. And shout out, look at y'all coming through right now. Shout out to each and every one of y'all for coming through. Brad Martin gifted 10 Phinside The NFL memberships. Jackal, Javier, Evan Sonez, TJ Marshall, Rodney, Flaming Finn, FM Dolphins, Coastal Photography, and Robert Rodriguez, as well as Chris Kells, all benefited from that. And then Timothy turned around, or after already donating 2, donated another 5 as Samaj Taylor, John Florino, Justin, Number One King, and Pablo Ramos all benefited from that. So shout out to all of y'all, man. We're about to get into the safety big board, and I appreciate all of you for continuing. And listen, especially donating on a show like this where we know what's going to happen. This is our 5th big board. Remember, we're doing 6. Guard is the next one up. And I've been demonetized on 3 out of the 4, and I'm expecting to be demonetized again today. So those donations mean a ton, and I appreciate each and every one of them from all you guys. And hey, do me the favor, just smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. If you can't donate, I appreciate all of it. It helps me out with my friend Al Algorithm. So help me out with that. I appreciate over 310 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe for new. Y'all ready for a big board? Y'all ready to keep it rolling and to get into some big board? Let's do it. Let's get into my 2024 safety big board for the NFL draft. All right. And let's start off with the honorable mentions like we always do, because there is a sleeper I like in this. You know, sleepers aren't guys who go in the first or second or third or fourth round. Sleepers are the guys you find in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. There seems to be some confusion on what sleepers are because people who don't know anything about the draft get up here and talk about it without even knowing what the hell they're talking about. So let's start off with this, because there is a big time sleeper on right here for me that I want to talk about. So let's start off at number 15. Josh Proctor of Ohio State, 6'1", 199 pounds. Proctor, who is a defender that has experience in the slot, in the box, and free safety. Solid tackler in open space, makes plays downhill, has the ability to make plays on the football and coverage, knows how to lay the lumber as a hitter. He's already 25 years old, though. Doesn't have a ton of experience as a full-fledged starter, as an average athlete, and may start out as a special teams contributor at the next level. 14, Sion Vaki out of Utah, 5'11", 213 pounds, is arguably the most versatile defender in this class. Check this one out. He's not only a free safety that can play in the slot and in the box as well, but Utah had him as an offensive contributor. They used him as a running back, rushing for 317 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. Truly a two-way player. Vaki enjoys the physical aspect of the game, whether it's coming downhill against the runner, blitzing a passer, has the range from sideline to sideline in pursuit, and is a sure tackler when he can wrap a ball carrier. Where he lacks is he doesn't offer a ton of production on the ball with only 4 pass breakups and 1 interception at Utah. I think he profiles better as a strong safety than a player on the perch. He's a little inexperienced, needs to be more patient than aggressive, as that leads to missed tackles, and his length isn't that great. 13, I got Jalen Simpson out of Auburn. Simpson's 5'11", 179 pounds, but he's an explosive athlete with a quick first step, quick trigger, and has smooth footwork overall for the position. Knows how to use his length, possesses above average ball skills, shows high level awareness with a good football IQ, can play safety, the slot, and has a ton of experience on the boundary as well. He isn't great working through traffic due to his lack of play strength. Needs to clean up his tackling technique, and there were times where he was just too aggressive in coverage or didn't take the right angle, and he got beat for chunk plays because of that. At number 12, Tyke Smith out of Georgia. He's 5'10", 202. Projects as a box safety that can also play the slot in the star role for a team at the next level like he did with Georgia. Really good in run support. Shows the ability to hold coverage against wide receivers and tight ends. Sure tackler with good technique. Flashes good instincts in terms of making plays on the football. Displays good range with a high motor and is very reliable in open space. Smaller frame that could give him issues at the catch point with bigger wide receivers. Doesn't have the most fluid hips, I noticed. It looks a little stiff. And it needs to increase his play strength to be used at the line of scrimmage at the next level. All right. Now, here's a sleeper for you. Here's a guy I really like. Trey Taylor out of Air Force. He's one of my sleepers of this class. He's 6 foot, 213. A really good athlete. He also won the 2023 Jim Thorpe Award as the nation's top defensive back in college. He's a box defender who can play the slot and on the perch at free safety. He's great in run support, has high-level ball skills, doesn't give up separation when he flips his hips, has good instincts and route recognition. He can blitz, has pretty good range to his game, offers upside man or zone coverage as well for a defense at the next level. He can miss tackles trying to annihilate a ball carrier instead of sticking to his technique. You know, upping his play strength will help him play through traffic. And he needs to stay in phase better with wide receivers. You know, he gets a little too handsy because he can't stay in phase as well. So I'm a fan of Trey Taylor, though. A lot of upside. You know, that's a sleeper for me. That's a guy on late day. If you can get him on day 3, man. Number 10, Bo Braid out of Maryland. 6 foot, 203 pounds. but Braid not only has an awesome name, but can play the slot as a single high. But where he thrives to me is as a box defender. One of the first things that pops out about Braid is just how big of a thumper he is, as he can rattle a ball carrier skeleton when he lays a hit, while he's also a sure tackler with good technique. Braid shows above average ball instincts, as he can jump a route to make a play on the ball due to good route recognition, but also knows how to use his length and body to make a play at the catch point if he's a tad late getting over. He's really quick to trigger downhill, takes good angles in space or pursuit, and offers help and run support when tasked with a job. Over-aggressiveness can lead to missed tackles for him, which is a theme for a lot of these safeties. He isn't the greatest athlete, and that shows when he's forced to move laterally or flip his hips and stay in phase. And he has momentary lapses in coverage that he's given up big plays because of those. He's either been on a fake, taken a false step by overcommitting to a QB's eyes, and, it's led to big plays for the other team. Number 9, Malik Mustafa out of Wake Forest. He's 5'10", 203. Very explosive athlete who, to me, projects as a strong safety. And he's best utilized in the box, I thought, at Wake Forest, with the ability to play in the slot or up on the perch, in two-look sets, whatever. You want him as a split field safety, you can do that. He's strong, consistent tackler who can bring the lumber when he comes downhill on ball carriers, especially in run support. He's explosive in short areas or the open field, shows high level awareness, and can play from sideline to sideline. He can cover tight ends, take on running backs out of the backfield on passing plays, and has good instincts mixed with route recognition. Needs to stay in phase better with receivers as they stem the routes and even at the top of them. He isn't the twitchiest athlete and offers average ball production. He's not a ball hawk by any means. Number 8 is Cameron Kitchens. He's 5'11", 203. He fits the mold as a safety who can play in single high looks, 2 high shells, in nickel packages, and in the box at the NFL level. Has great instincts, awareness, route recognition, and feel for the game that allows him to be rangy without high-level athleticism. Absolutely fantastic ball skills and a high-level ability to track the ball, as he's a true playmaker and ball hawk. Stays in phase well, has fluid hips and feet, is a solid, consistent tackler. While Kitchens he's overall pretty smart, high football IQ player. As mentioned earlier, he's not the most athletic guy, which can catch up to him if he takes a false step one way or if he bites on a play fake, as he isn't explosive or great in terms of recovering. He can improve in run support. The play strength's going to have to improve to help him get through traffic better. His pursuit angles are very iffy at times. And this is a guy who, he looks for the big hit way too much instead of wrapping. And that leads to missed tackles or tackles being, broken and shed. Number 7, the guy who, we brought in, Kalen Bullock out of USC. 6'2", 188. Bullock has good length to his frame. It shows up on tape as a really good athlete with a high-level short area burst, speed, and acceleration to his game. Was used all over the place at USC as a free safety in multiple shells, out of the slot and in the box quite a bit. Has a quick trigger downhill and absolutely can obliterate receivers coming across his area or ball carriers that dare to run in his direction. He can track pretty well, makes plays on the ball well and regularly, can play sideline to sideline, and has really high upside as he's just about to turn 21, so there's a ton of room to be coached up for Bullock. Doesn't offer a ton of run support as his pursuit angles are iffy. His play strength it needs to improve. I think he also needs to clean up his tackling from technique to replacing, he needs to be less aggressive and more patient. And you can say that for a lot of the guys in this class. All right, let's get into a man crush. Dadrian Taylor Demison out of Texas Tech. Taylor Demison, he's 5'10", 197 pounds. And guess what? He's one of my man crushes for the safety position. And to top it all off, he's a great and super explosive athlete. He projects as a true free safety at the next level with the athleticism, speed, instincts, and football IQ to split the field in a 2-high shell or to man the back end open space all by himself, but can also play the slot and down in the box if necessary. He thrives in the physical aspect of the game as he can take a ball carrier or receiver's soul like Shang Tsung when he locks in and lays the hammer as a hitter. High level route recognition. Very high level. High level ball tracking ability. Stays in phase very well and easily. Has great anticipatory skills that allow him to break on footballs to contest at the catch point or make a play on the ball. Plus, he's a good blitzer when he's asked to pass rush, while he's able to stay strong in pursuit when tasked in run support. I think his size is his biggest detriment, but he doesn't play down to it. Needs to show more patience as he can overcommit right away, which leads to bad bites in coverage. And he needs to be more disciplined with his eyes, not getting tractor beamed in on the quarterback. So, a couple areas to improve, but man, I love this kid's game, and he was fun to watch. Shout out to 1017, man. He says, keep up the great job, bro. I'll be watching on the repeat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the donation. Now, you know what time it is. Let's get into the All-22, and let's get into the top 5 safeties of this draft class for me. And we start off with Cole Bishop out of Utah. Bishop is 6'2", 206, and such a high-level athlete that he has the 15th best relative athletic score at the position ever, dating back to 1987. He's a true free safety that offers a team flexibility in the box or in the slot, as he has no problems covering slot wideouts and tight ends. He possesses a quick downhill trigger, knows how to play through traffic when he gets there, and is also a very effective pass rusher when used in blitz situations. See that pick? That was nasty. He's gotten better at tracking the ball, and I think he's shown high-level route recognition and football IQ during his time at Utah. He's one of the best prospects in this class when it comes to run support, as he's quick and smart in pursuit, takes good angles, and doesn't fall for misdirections or cutbacks. Look at the range he shows on this play against Florida. He has great range from sideline to sideline and is able to stay in phase and mirror receivers well. Has fluid footwork in and out of his back pedal. You know, he just great solid feet from this guy. His agility flashes when he moves laterally or has to change direction on a dime. Look at that. Look at that ability. Great hands. Doesn't offer a ton in terms of ball skills at the position. Now, I've known him showing a few interceptions, but, you know, play strength he's not a ball hawk is what I mean. Play strength will need to improve. Looking for the big hit can cause him to miss a tackle or the ball carrier to shed easy. And length, specifically in his arms, are kind of far from ideal. But, I mean, you look at him and look at the play, the drive he makes on this. Look at him drive. Boom! To get that ball out against USC. Great play. Great play, man. Javon Bullard, number 4. He's 5'10", 198 pounds, and fits the mold of a true free safety at the next level with the ability to give a defense some slot usage. Look at the energy he plays with. He's so energetic. Look at him. Just boom, like a torpedo when he triggers downfield. High-level instincts, tracks the ball well, and flashes a high football IQ from his ability to diagnose against the pass to how he seems to always know what angle to take in open space or against the run, with the range to play from sideline to match. He can match receivers stride for stride out of the slot, and not only can he stay in phase, but he's super quick in short areas and has fluid, loose hips with solid footwork. Obviously, he's not the biggest or longest guy, but he's physical and plays receivers hard at the catch point, as nothing is given against him. It has to be earned. I mean, you saw him, how he showed up against TCU in the national championship. Huge. Can lay the lumber when he comes downfield and shows good technique with wrapping frequently and finishing off his tackles. He's physical from the way he plays receivers off the line or when they're stemming their route, all the way to the top of it, down to his ability to play through traffic and shed blocks against the run. Though he wasn't asked to blitz much in 2023, he has shown the ability to be disruptive when he was in 2022 asked to blitz more. Had 3.5 sacks along with 2 hurries. Size isn't ideal, but I don't think he plays small. Isn't a top-end athlete with top-end speed or agility. Can get caught trailing instead of recovering because of that, and has maturity questions due to a DWI on his record already. But when you look at him, man, this kid is absolutely electric on the field, man. Electric. Big fan of Javon Bullard. Big fan. Number 3, listen. Next to Taylor Demerson and Dejon Cooper, Jaden Hicks is one of my favorites of the safety class. If I did not have Cooper DeJean as a safety, Jaden Hicks would have been on my man crush list. He thrives playing the box, but can also be flexed in the slot and up on the perch. He's super effective. 6'1", 211 pounds, has really good frame and overall build for the position. While I view him as more of a plus athlete rather than a high-level athlete, he's so rangy, but also he's one of the quickest in terms of downhill triggers in this class to match. And if he has you locked in the sights and squared up, it may be good night and good luck for the ball carrier, as he is a big-time thumper. Big-time thumper. Offers a ton in run support, doesn't fall for play actions and misdirections, consistently sniffs out the ball carrier, takes good angles either in pursuit or to meet the running back in the gap. I mean, you look at him, look at the hit there. Boom! Look at him dislodge the ball. Diagnoses well against the pass, shows good route recognition, and thrives in man or zone coverage, which I think is a product of him playing quarterback up until he arrived at Washington State. He's very physical at the catch point, which he's quick to arrive due to his previously mentioned high instincts and feel for defending the pass. Explosive first step, is quick in short areas, can play through traffic, and is a really strong and disruptive blitzer. He's another guy in this class whose tackling technique can suffer from being a little over aggressive. Footwork is just okay. And, it could be made more fluid, especially in his back pedal. It's a little clunky. And he's not a ball hawk by any means, but, he's good enough. Tyler Nubin is number 2 for me. Coming in at 6'1", 200 pounds. Tyler Nubin definitely has the build and the frame to look the part of a safety at the next level, which I think he'll be a strong safety that offers you versatility through the secondary, either at the line of scrimmage, out of the slot, or up top to split the field in 2 high shells, while he can definitely be utilized in 3 safety sets. The first thing that pops out on film is that he arguably has the best ball skills in this class, from his ability to read and react, to his route recognition, anticipatory skills, and diagnosing, to how he doesn't let opportunities to make a play on the ball slip by him. He's so instinctive. It seems like his first step is always the right one, which helps put him in a position to be a playmaker either against the pass or against the run. Has really good short area burst and quickness, a quick trigger, takes good angles in pursuit and can play in traffic, has quick feet and fluid hips, allowing him to mirror receivers, move crisply in his back pedal, and not give up separation easily. You also notice how good of a communicator and how often he communicates on the field. He looked like the quarterback of the Minnesota secondary as well as the quarterback of the Minnesota defense at times. Has the patience and ability to disguise and time his breaks on the ball perfectly for zone, which I think he thrives in the most. Needs to rely on his intangibles more than athleticism, which shows up when he's beat and has to recover, which he can tend to have problems with. Blitzing isn't his strongest part of his repertoire yet. And I think there is some room to clean up his tackling technique. And he's also coming off a meniscus repair. But when you look at Tyler Nubin, man, that's a potentially special player. Number 1, Cooper DeJean. This may be the most controversial having him here, but he would also be my number 1 cornerback, as he's truly a defensive back that can play the boundary, the box, as a nickel or on the perch. And really, I don't think there's a better player to fit the star role for a defense that utilizes that role. Field Yates of ESPN said many teams he's spoken with view him as a safety. So that's not a crazy projection having him at safety, because a lot of NFL teams view him as just over 6 feet tall, 204. To me, is one of the best, most reliable and consistent tacklers in this class. DeJean is in his comfort zone when he's playing off of the QB's eyes, which is another reason why I think he translates to safety really well, why he's a high IQ football player when it comes to route recognition, anticipating and timing a break on routes, as well as, he's just overall so damn instinctive. He's physical at the catch point, in the open field, playing through traffic, and when he takes on ball carriers, it's just a part of the game he really loves. Look at this tracking in that catch right there, and then look at the return. Has some of the best and cleanest footwork of this class, as no movement is wasted, while he can stay in phase when he flips his hips without giving up space or separation. Plus, I'd say his recovery ability, it's damn near elite. He can take on and shed blocks against the run, is strong in pursuit, and even offers teams upside as a returner on special teams. He had one of the nicest returns last year, but it was called back due to a flag. He can be a little stiff at times in transition, which is another factor why I think he should be moved, why he might be moved to safety. Doesn't have high-end change of direction ability for an athlete of his caliber, and he can get beat looking for the big play on the ball, because if he misses, it might not be good. He's also, look at the tracking, look at the pursuit. He's also coming off a broken fibula. All right? So, listen, I'm a fan of Cooper DeJean, and he has a lot going for him. Guys, do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. I'm going to be looking to go live this week. We got Wednesday, me, Richmond, and Ball Game. Thursday, me and Neil. Friday, I'll have Dante Collinelli on. Sunday, I will have Ryan Roberts on. Then on Monday or Tuesday, we will also drop my final big board, which will be guards. Me and Neil have our 3-round hand-selected mock draft this next week. And then for the first 2 nights of the draft, we will have live panels for all of you with me, Ball Game, Kevin Dern, Martin Ukpai. So be sure to tune in, all right? Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate all of you for coming through. You already know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. And I'll see y'all in the next one.